We've pulled out all the stops this week on It's Not Easy Being Green. We've got a rock star.
I used to have an aeroplane. Touring was the easiest way to get to work.
We've got a rock chick.
It's quite extreme. This is like punk rock antiquing. Oh, my goodness.
And a beehive that's hit rock bottom.
They've just gone.
A week ago, that was perfectly all right.
Yeah.
Bees are dying in their billions. Sounds like a job for Dick Strawbridge, Special Agent for bees. Einstein's supposed to have said that if the bees go, we'll go 4 years later. He was probably too busy actually doing algebra, but the fact is, he wasn't far away from the truth. I don't want to ruin your evening, but bees are rather important. They pollinate flowers and the crops we eat. And what's freaking us beekeepers out is that they're dying so fast, they could disappear forever. Unless we do something about it. Last year, I bought 2 hives and installed them in a clearing above Newhouse Farm.
So when you're ready.
Give him a hard shape. Give him a...
They got a bit lonely, so my mate John brought his bees up for company. And today we've come to see how they're getting on.
The hive is quite well.
Right now, these bees are in desperate need of our help.
There's some honey there.
There's some honey there, but it's not much.
Yeah.
It's been so wet this year that we're actually having to feed the bees because there's been days on end where they just haven't, in fact, there's been weeks on end where they haven't been able to get out in the forest, isn't it?
Yes.
We're feeding them serpent water, which is just basically like saving them flying to lots and lots, lots of flowers. Ah, look at that, that's better. But the weather isn't the only problem.
Yeah.
We're also having to deal with something much more worrying. Can we have a quick look in number 2?
This is the one they've just gone. It's just...
A week ago that was perfectly all right.
Yeah, no rhyme or reason to it.
We think they're being killed by a combination of disease, climate change and perhaps pesticides. It's hard to be sure exactly what's going on, but I'll do my best to find out.
Well, yeah, but we do need to find out more about what's going on.
But to cheer us up, I'm going to hand you over to aspirational shopper turned green investigator, Lauren Laverne. Go on, Lauren, make a smile.
Antiques, green as grass. Think about it. Bits of furniture used over and over again. The ultimate in recycling. And there are 2 kinds. Lovely things that people want. And stuff that no one wants. So if you knew how to recycle all of this unwanted stuff and turn it into really cool designer furniture, wouldn't that be clever? Oh, so eco-clever.
David Harper is an antiques expert and a master of makeover. He knows how to drag unwanted furniture kicking and screaming with delight into the 21st century.
Tell me what you think about this chair.
Looks amazing.
It is amazing, but it started life about 120 years ago. But a local London designer called Lou Roter saves defunct antique chairs, and then she puts her stamp on them. That chair might sell for about £300 plus. But we could buy that chair as a plain Victorian beach chair. How much do you think?
100 quid?
£3?
No.
£5?
£3?
Enough chat. Let's shop.
Take that, for example. A really good quality, circa 1880 Victorian oak chest of drawers with an estimate of about £60. Now, if you know it's the Victorian, you know it's pretty good quality. Look at the drawers. You can just see there's a scribe mark there where the cabinet maker has actually made a measure and then cut the dovetail by hand to that mark. Now, to create that chest of drawers new, a couple of £1,000 easily.
Over here, there's something that I spotted that I like. Please tell me that this is likeable and it's a good thing.
Well, I like it.
Oh, good.
What is it that you like about it?
Well, I just love the lines of this.
Yeah.
I think it's really beautiful. And it's a little miniature rocking chair, so it's cute as well.
Yes, it's either for a lady or a child, I suppose.
I would be interested to know what you could do with it. I kind of think it's so beautifully made, you wouldn't want to take it apart too much.
Well, I don't have a big problem with that because it's not of huge value. If it was a Chippendale table, I'm not going to start chopping the thing up. But, you know, let's see what it's worth. Classic bentwood rocking chair, £40 to £60.
Oh, right, OK.
Well, for that sort of money, if that's what you want to do,
really
why
like
not?
So you like these chairs, David. What is it about these that I should be noticing?
Well, I like the style of them, first of all. They're kind of a Georgian style, but made in the Edwardian period, so about 1905, which makes them very cheap. Let me tell you what I'd like to do to them, if you allow me to do it. See these? I just think those legs are absolutely drop-dead gorgeous.
They're beautiful, yeah.
Yeah, to be really funky and really different, we could just get a hacksaw, chop the babies up, make them into anything that you like, and then with 4 really gorgeous legs, make a kind of 3 foot by 2 foot stool with a nice wacky upholstered top on it.
That's quite extreme. This is like punk rock antiquing.
607 now. No tips are too short. Over 3 long draws. Something £30 for it. 10. £10. 586 now. Classical bentwood rocking chair. 50, 160, 170, 180. 732 instead of 4 in a dining chair. 770. 5, 80, 85, 90. No, 85. Thank you. 2.
We've spent 330 quid, including commission.
Careful.
If you want to see Lauren's tatty old bits of furniture revamped, recovered and reused, then stay tuned. Remember Duncan Glendinning, who we met in Series 2? He's a top recycler, always making something out of nothing.
It's not good wood. You wouldn't make furniture with it, but for stuff.
And what has he got in common with Chris Martin, Gwyneth Paltrow and Jamie Oliver? The answer is, he's about to become the proud owner of a clay oven.
Right, James, here's my sort of Blue Peter moment. We've got this one, which is proper sort of...
And this is a model earth oven,
This is a model true to scale.
What age were you when you made this? So this is what we're aiming for.
So that's the idea.
Clay ovens can cost around £1,000 in the shops, but we're going to build one from scratch with no money. So Duncan, why are we stealing all these bricks?
Well, we need the bricks to basically have a look. We just need them to create like a base that we're going to build the clay oven onto.
You don't think that your sort of plan appearing on television and stealing bricks might
It's going to get me in trouble. Well, luckily, actually, I made the good decision of actually asking permission. This is not going to cost us anything today, because that was kind of the aim, is to try and do it on a zero sort of budget. And I think I'm not doing anything that anybody else can't do, just salvaging stuff that's destined for landfill. I reckon that's an oven's worth.
Back at Duncan's flat, we're going to build an oven that's going to make next door's barbecue look really lame. Have you ever built an earth oven before? Do you actually know what you're doing?
No, I don't. So you coming down today could turn it into a complete disaster.
Is there any particular reason why we've got our shoes off? Oh, toes. I hope you're taking notes at home. Duncan, where did you get this clay from?
Actually, I was just sort of driving around and there was just a skip, because I like to sort of scavenge in skips. It's quite sad, I think. I do have like a few empty bags in the car all the time, like old garden bags.
That's a good idea.
There's this test apparently to do, and basically it's supposed to be able to sit off your hand and without sort of snapping.
Right.
So you can actually see we're pretty much there already.
Yeah. Not an exact science, this, is it? No. It doesn't really have to be, I don't think. I'm guessing
I think that's half the fun, really.
This sandy dome will be the foundation for our clay oven.
There you go, this one.
And the newspaper stops the sand sticking to the clay.
Make sure, always like 4 fingers sort of thickness.
So can you cook other things other than bread and pizza in these?
Yeah, that's the really, really cool thing with these ovens. Because think about the base, it's going to be so hot. You could roast peppers, you could cook... literally, I don't think there's any limits to what you could potentially cook in here.
Yeah! Before the clay dries, we need to cut out the door wide enough for a pizza. It's now become an earth oven, look at it. Well, almost. Okay. Well, back to waiting, I guess.
Yeah, let's
go. Protected by Duncan's makeshift shelter, the clay will take 2 weeks to dry.
Wow. What do you reckon?
It looks all right. It's cracking quite a lot, which is quite worrying. This is very exciting and a little bit nerve-wracking at the same time. The oven takes a couple of hours to heat up. So, time to start creating our first eco-baked, homegrown Duncan Pizza special. Yeah! Woo!
Oh, wow. How long has it been in there? Like 5 minutes?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
What do you reckon? No.
Oh. It's awesome.
Job done.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And so, from a little bit of dough to a whole load of it.
Very big house in the country. Watching afternoon repeats and the bird eggs in the country.
This gorgeous country pile belongs to Blur bass guitarist Alex James. He is this week's Eco-Test guest.
This is like HQ. This is the farm buildings here, and it's a classic Victorian model farm, which means that 100 years ago it would have been producing everything you can buy in an upmarket delicatessen in Islington. They would have been making milk in here, which would have been turned into cheese in here. There was a bakery there. There was an orchard and nuttery in this field. And I think that could work again, actually.
So tell me what's in them buildings?
Got chickens in there.
How many chickens you have?
Dog got one last week, so...
The dog's not supposed to eat the chickens. You've lost your old spot?
There's the Empress, yeah, well, it's the classic celebrity pig, isn't it, the old spots? Yeah, I mean, they grow so quickly. It's amazing. You know, you can pick them up when you buy them, one in each hand.
Yeah. What age is this?
About 18 months.
That's old for a pig, mate.
Yeah.
And why haven't you eaten her yet?
Pardon?
Why haven't you eaten her yet?
She won us over. She's a pet, really.
Oh, no!
I thought my wife and I were being quite reckless and daring buying this place on our honeymoon, but I've since realised it's just another cliche from the book of rock and roll cliches. It's what ageing rock gentlemen tend to do. they go and live on farms, you know.
Yeah.
Paul McCartney, Roger Daltrey, Sting.
Yeah. Alex fancies himself as a reconstructed greenie, but how green is he? What kind of a house do you live in? Well, the answer to that's a very nice one, so I'll give you
A very big house in the country.
attached. How do you heat your home?
Oil and fires, open fires from...
But open fires, all the heat goes up the chimney, doesn't it? Unless you've got wood burners as such.
You can't beat an open fire, though, can you?
That's
I mean,
true.
it's what people stared at before there was television. You know, it's kind of... It's
Made
all-
their own music and stared at the fire. You've
Yeah.
been in your element. How often do you buy organic meat, vegetables and dairy products?
Most of the meat we eat, meat and eggs and stuff we grow here.
But anything you do buy, do you tend to
Outsourcing
buy
it.
organic or do you tend to buy...
Depends what it is, actually. I mean, with cheese, I don't care if it's organic or not. You know, as long as it tastes nice.
I can't
The old
justify a tractor.
Well, do you know what? This one doesn't actually work. I'm going to fix it up.
So what about
Making the
personal
hay and
transport
stuff.
for you? What do you drive?
Do you know, I haven't got a car at the moment, which is really annoying.
Very green, never mind annoying. How do you live without one?
I mean, I want one. I'm not doing it because out of any sense of altruism.
Right, last 12 months, how many hours have you spent in personal air travel within Europe?
I went to Italy to do some mozzarella espionage a couple of weeks ago. I mean, I used to have an aeroplane, you know, because...
I'm a slot for that. I'm sure we'll get a penalty point there somewhere.
Touring, you know, it was the easiest way to get to work, you know.
Okay. So what are we
So
up to?
we need to pick the apples, really. It's time.
Nice mature apple trees.
I mean, it's just brilliant. We ignore them all year, and every year they just explode.
What sort are these?
Russets.
That just looks gorgeous.
There's a nice one there.
Do you know what
You realise? I mean, there's hundreds of varieties of apples. I never feel sort of closer to Eden than I do in the orchard this time of year. You know, it's just an absolutely magnificent thing.
Right, here we go. In the last 12 months, have you bought any of these new items?
Veg.
Dishwasher, washing machine, tumble dryer, fridge, freezers? Anything new in the last 12 months?
Washing machine.
Yeah. How many washing machines have you got?
3.
Say that louder. Come out, wherever you are.
We've got a laundrette, kind of.
I've got 3 washing machines.
They're all always on. 4 children, living in a mud patch.
Okay. Right, I've got a score for you. Okay. Your lifestyle is actually, if everybody in the UK lived the same way as you, it would take 3.2 planets for us all to be supported.
Well, I'm building a spaceship.
So, Mr. James, you're not as green as you think, though you are nearly a whole planet greener than Phil Tufnell. That's a relatively high score. Does that worry you?
Absolutely terrifying, yeah. I mean, I'm doing what I can. You know, I feel like I'm doing what I can. Obviously need to do more.
But there is this bit about the more affluent you are, the more of an impact you have. And so I think this measures that more than the positive things you're doing, doesn't it?
We planted thousands of trees here. It's scary. Yeah.
It is, isn't it? Hops as well. Oh, cheer up, Alex. Come with me and I'll earn you a few extra green brownie points. I'm taking him to meet his local beekeeper. Right. Will you come along here. Martin's part of your local beekeeping club. You know you want bees? This is how you find out what's happening in the local area. Because bees on your farm would be an awesome addition, wouldn't it?
I totally agree. Top of my shopping list.
Most of our bees are looked after by people like Martin, who do it for love, not money.
Wow, look at that. It's very fortuitous that you brought me here, Dick, because bees were kind of the next thing I wanted, and it's really good to be able to ask you, Martin, things like how much do they cost, how much hassle are they, am I going to get stung to bits?
You need to be able to devote perhaps a couple of hours a week. It's not an expensive hobby. You're not going to become rich as a beekeeper, but it's not going to break the bank either. In a good summer, you should be able to get 100 pounds, 150 pounds of honey.
What do you reckon? Fancy that on the farm?
Well, Martin, to be or not to be, that is the question. What's the answer?
Well, I'd say yes, but
To be.
I'm biased. Yes.
I reckon bees are the way forward. You'd love
I
to
mean,
get your
it's-
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, it's
Particularly if you're a farmer.
so many benefits. Not just that bees, you get the feeling that bees kind of need a little bit of a helping hand at the moment, but it's great for the garden, fascinating, and honey.
Well, yes.
But there is a sense that they're just going. I mean, the bees are disappearing, aren't they? I mean, I think everybody kind of knows
Yeah,
that.
but there's a decline in bees, and nobody really understands why. And I think that's the big problem.
2 billion disappeared last year, and they're expecting losses on a similar scale in 2009. We spend very little money on bee research in this country, only a couple of £100,000 a year. And when you consider the severity of the bee crisis, it makes you wonder why the politicians are so reluctant to spend more. They know exactly how serious it is. Listen to this government report. If nothing is done about it, the honeybee population could be wiped out in 10 years. Now that's scary. So I've come to meet Dr. Stephen Hunter, the government's bee czar. Are the government taking the bee crisis seriously, do you think?
Yes, we are taking it very seriously.
Because I'm right in thinking it's about 165 million a year productivity from bees, pollination.
Yes.
But when we're talking about £200,000 of research, that seems like a bit of an imbalance.
It would be very easy. No, it wouldn't be easy, but we could throw lots of money at this. But unless you have a properly structured programme of research, which is trying to address the problems, that wouldn't necessarily answer much of what we're looking for. We need to have a better understanding why colonies are being lost. Is it a disease problem? Is it a husbandry problem? But it's no good putting money until you've worked out what it is you need to look at. Yeah.
What can you say to me? I'm a beekeeper. I've got friends who are beekeepers. You know, make me smile a bit here, Stephen, because from my perspective, it's a worry.
And it's a worry we share. I'm not going to say to you today, here's another X 100,000, here's another X million on the table. What I can say is the department is committed to continuing expenditure in this area. We are committed to making sure we find out what the problems are.
And so will our bees still be buzzing in 10 years' time? I
think we will better understand what's going on with bees, and I think we'll have taken action to deal with that.
So Dr. Hunter is optimistic and thinks the government will save the day. I do hope he's right. We can all do something to help the bees, and like charity, it starts at home. Take it away, James and Bridget.
To attract bees and other important pollinating insects to your garden, you really need to provide flowering plants from about March all the way through to late October. Find a patch of bare earth, it can be a plant pot, a border, even in the vegetable garden, and then sow the seeds from March to May. It's as simple as that.
If you don't know what to plant, pop into your neighbour's garden, have a look and see what plants are covered in bees, and just know that that's a plant that not only will attract the bees, but will probably work in your garden with your soil conditions, so that's a good one. Look, there are bees everywhere, there are bees all over this.
Fennel smells absolutely gorgeous, and if you let it go to seed, it can attract a really good variety of insect life.
Lavender, and over here this is thyme, which is, oh that's gorgeous, that's absolutely beautiful. Very, very fragrant. If you can smell them, the bees can smell them. I think that's the bottom line.
If you grow any vegetables from the allium family, which is things like onions and chives, and let a few of them go to seed, the flowers look amazing and bees absolutely love them.
In London, Chris Mead and Jay Hayter are still hard at work on their eco-renovation. They want to transform their Victorian house into a temple to green technology in just 6 months.
Hi Dick, we've got this Victorian house that we would like to eco-renovate.
They've stuffed the roof full of sheep's wool insulation. Not a bad start. This week, in true makeover style, we've sent Jay off for the day, while James and Bridget help Chris tackle the garden.
It's like going into a secret garden, isn't it?
Well, I don't know if we've reached the back of the garden, it just keeps going and going, and there's just so many plants in here.
Yeah. Are you seeing this as a vegetable garden, as a barbecue sitting out place, or as a wildlife?
Personally, it's going to be a huge vegetable plot, but the powers that be have split it.
That's Jay and Jay's mother.
Jay and Jay's mother have come up. They've spent a lot of time actually thinking what they're going to put in this garden. We'll use this. So here's the master plan.
Okay.
I think it'd be really good to get on with planting this vegetable area, because I've seen so many, tomatoes, broad beans, all of this.
Yeah.
But they're going to go pot bound, and you're going to miss it if we don't get them out really soon.
Do you think we're going to get that far today, actually planting?
Yeah, definitely.
Really?
I think it has to be a priority, really.
James can dig for England. Look at the snails!
Kill them.
No.
Yeah, vegetarians and vegans,
No,
take
I
note. Snails you have to kill, otherwise they eat your vegetables.
I don't think there's anything good about having snails, but I can't kill them. I mean, they're great in composts. Stick them in the compost. They help to compost things down.
So all I want to do is pick it up and stand on it, but I know my mum will go,
Please don't. No, don't.
There's a pretty big potential problem with these railway sleepers, which is that they've got creosote on them, which is a treatment for all sorts of types of wood, but it can leak into the soil and possibly let those chemicals into your food. So if you're being an organic gardener, you'd say no to railway sleepers generally. But these ones, they're reused, they're reclaimed, so it's a matter of balance, and they're also going to just provide really nice visual effect in the garden, which is part and parcel with, going green. You want to enjoy your lifestyle as well, so looking nice is a big part of it.
James?
Yeah?
Can we bring some of the butternut squashes out, the little ones as well?
I think that we should get everything out, personally.
Everything.
Do you think we've got too much?
I think you've been very, very optimistic and sort of positive, but I think now you're going to have serious challenges seeing what you've got room for.
We've got sweet ones.
Yeah.
Butternut squashes.
Butternut squashes, oh
Look
my
at
gosh.
that.
I know, my first tomatoes.
A proud moment.
And these are acorns, aren't they? No, butternuts. Butternut squashes, so...
And I'm surprised how far apart you're going to plant these, because...
I would have planted them a lot further.
Really?
They can be absolutely enormous.
The vegetable patch needn't be restricted to boring old greens.
I think lots of people actually make the mistake when they're growing vegetables of thinking that they need to sacrifice the flowers, but the flowers, if you choose the right flowers, they'll actually help the vegetables by bringing in all the beneficial insects. And
right, OK.
So you can have a bit of both.
OK, we'll try that.
Time for the big reveal. Jay's back.
Come on through.
Oh.
The workers are still working.
Oh my goodness! Oh my god! You've got the sleepers and your plants!
I know.
Oh my god! It looks like a proper garden now, doesn't it?
For more ideas on transforming your garden into something gloriously green, dig into our website at bbc.co.uk/bloom. Lauren's antique furniture has arrived at the restorers. Let the recycling begin.
She fancies bringing a bit of lace along the top there.
Our makeover budget is 500 quid. David assures me we're getting our money's worth.
Look, Fergus! Look, all this funny furniture, it's arrived. Should we open it? You know how many? Hooray! Oh my goodness! Whee! Hooray! And it's become a footstool and a love seat. Look, Ferg, a love seat. Wow, with those fabulous legs that he loved. Still intact, looking beautiful. Which one should we do next? Should we do this bargain one? This was £10 or something. Oh. Oh, no, I like that. For a tenner.
Plus the tarting up charge.
That's amazing.
In total, Lauren spent £1,000. But she now has furniture worth twice that, apparently. I'm in the wrong business. I must be off my rocker. Next week, we bid farewell to some old friends.
What? Come on, there, here we go. We're off.
I get harangued by Lauren, who's my next guest for the eco test.
You're a special environmentalist and I wear loads of makeup.
A young family are off on their hauls with Toby Sode, our travel expert. To get to Spain, they've dumped the plane.
Can I just ask you not to argue, please?
Can't wait to see how they get on.
See you later.
Evan Davis, your witty guide through the quagmire of our financial systems with a brand new series, The City Uncovered. It's BBC Two's City Season, tonight at 9. Next though, prepare to drool. It's MasterChef.